Thanks to the support as a channel member, Mumongu Gaming. We've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we are flying high in the Premier League and all is looking good. The bad news, we've got ourselves into a situation where to qualify in the Champions League, I think we probably have to win away at Juventus. Hello and welcome to Club 4, part 27 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you. One in the Champions League away at Juventus. Remember what I just said about that. And the other one away against Bournemouth, which should be easier to handle. If the Juventus one goes desperately wrong, we might roll straight into away against Real Madrid in today's episode. But I think we'll probably do that tomorrow with the Arsenal game, because the Arsenal game is significant for the league as well. This is what's gone on. There's lots of football, lots of things happening. The most significant thing is that we did lose at home to Juventus 2-0. Premier League form has been great. As mentioned, this is what the Premier League looks like. 10 games gone, 25 points on the board. We're only 2 points behind Chelsea. We are looking good. Pedro Luis is looking incredible. 11 goals from 10 games so far in the league. 3 from 3 in the Champions League. The man is an absolute machine, but Champions League looking a lot trickier. It was always going to be hard in a group with Juventus and Real Madrid in it, but now we've lost our home game against Juventus. We've got to beat one of them away from home. And I don't necessarily see it happening, but who knows? It might be about to happen right now. This is the team we're going to send there to try and do it. It's Hoy and Hal in goal. A back four of Evan Uga, Caio Caesar, Moura and Fernandez. I mean, it's a complicated defence to say now. I need Noel back fit again. He's getting there. He is getting closer. He played for the under-23s today. Absolutely shattered off the back of it. But Noel should be back soon. Navarro at the base of the midfield, then Zamorano and Tippel ahead of him. Schultz in behind Casolare and Pedro Luis. Tammy Abraham has picked up an injury. Tammy Abraham, actually, worryingly, is starting to decline a little bit as a footballer in the last few months, as the game would tell me. He's down to being a 3-star player this season. He has been nothing like the Tammy Abraham of last season. Starting to regret giving him that 2-year contract in the summer when we knew he was turning 35. We might regret that one. 7 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, a 6.84. And as you can see, a lot of attributes on the way down. We may have made a mistake there. Casolare is slotted into the team for now, but I think long term, if we're going to be a Champions League team long term, which this is our second year in the Champions League, I think a long-term Champions League team probably doesn't have Vincenzo Casolare as a regular starter up front. So we either need Gaza to progress faster than expected, or we are going to need to dip back into the transfer market for a partner for Pedro Luis at some point. Gaza is looking promising, though. 2 goals on his Mexico debut. He also scored and got an assist on his only Premier League game so far, and has also scored in his only start in the EFL Cup. So there's definitely promising signs there from Gaza, but it just feels a little bit too soon to throw him into Juventus away. Of course, Schultz is the other option. He could go and play up front, which I think is what he did for Schalke last season. He scored quite a lot of goals for Schalke last season, despite them getting relegated. So that's a possibility, sticking him up front with either Yedro or Gilberto Carlos in behind. But at the moment, I really like him playing as the attacking midfielder, so we're keeping him there for now. Like I say, Casolare is not letting us down. He's just not a long-term solution in that role, I don't think. Right, we are on the attack early on here in this game. It's Schultz out wide on the left, plays it into Tippel, who goes past his man, plays it back to Schultz again. Schultz floating it over to the far post, where Pedro Luis somehow has turned that in from an incredibly awkward angle. You can tell he's learnt that trick from Tammy Abraham. That was a vintage Tammy goal. I don't know how Pedro Luis has managed to do it. It's a lovely cross from Schultz. You've got no right to score a header from there, but he has. It's Juventus 0, Norwich 1. That is an incredible start to the game. Talking of incredible things, Tippel finally has been called up into the England squad. He still doesn't have a cap, but finally this man is, after a year and a half of playing out of his skin, at 25, 26 years old, has been called up to the England squad. So hopefully we can get a few caps on him. Asa Walsh still hasn't had a call up for the full team, but then he doesn't start regularly for us, so I wouldn't expect him to. But it's nice to have an England international in our midst, even though I guess he's not officially an England international until he actually plays. Of course, we did have Tammy Abraham, but he doesn't get called up anymore because he's a gazillion years old. I think he's actually retired from international football. We're hitting the hour mark here. Everything's gone very quiet, and that absolutely plays into our hands. Real Madrid are currently winning against Galatasaray. If we can hold on here against Juventus, we are suddenly back in a nice, strong position again. Although they beat us 2-0. If we only beat them 1-0, I know that leaves them ahead on head-to-head, which doesn't really help unless they continue losing. We might need a second. What I'm getting at is I think we might need a second goal. Right, we're going to take off Tipple and bring on Gilberto Carlos in midfield. We played him there a little bit recently. We're also going to... We don't have another... In fact, I say we don't have another left back. This is what the master plan in the summer was for. Mura can go to left back, and then we can bring on Matthew Hughes to... No, we're not. We're going to bring on Paviot, and we're going to put Fernandez into the middle. See, this is the flexibility of the master plan. I like having this flexibility in my back four. I'm also looking at Gaza. I'm going to bring him on, and this is what we've done when we've played Gaza. Gaza can only really play as the advanced forward, whereas Pedro Luis can play in the deeper role. He did it back when we first signed him, and I was playing him and Alvarez the wrong way round for most of the season. So we know he can do that role. It does potentially take a little bit of Pedro Luis's oomph out of the play, but Gaza's got oomph of his own. Oh, Hoyenhal's done well from a couple of chances for Juventus there. I've got a little piece of floppy hair, which is ruining my life. And as it stands, though, 4 games gone, we are top of our group. Paviot's picked up a knock. We just need to hold on, gentlemen. If we can hold on, this is yet another incredible European night for Norwich. We seem to turn up when you lot are here. Why we lost at home when we were then capable of going and pulling this off, I do not understand. But that has turned this group on its head again, because 4 games in, we're top. Real Madrid second. We play Real Madrid away from home next, while Juventus play Galatasaray, which means we're probably going to lose to Real Madrid. That'll put them on 12 points and qualified. Juventus are likely to beat Galatasaray, which puts them on 9 points, but ahead of us on head-to-head. So we'll go into the final match, level on points with Juventus, and playing Galatasaray while Real Madrid and Juventus play each other. So we'd need Madrid to beat Juventus, I guess. Unless we go and beat Real Madrid. Right, I think in these circumstances, we will do the Real Madrid match now. We'll show it in this episode, because there's still going to be plenty to play for by the time we get to Galatasaray. And then we can do Man City and Galatasaray tomorrow. So I'll play a couple of Premier League games off camera. We'll be back for Real Madrid. Well, we've not had the ideal prep for this Real Madrid game. Champions League hangover is real, and it lasts about 3 weeks. We rotated quite heavily for the Bournemouth game. You'll see that we started a heavily rotated side off the back of the Juventus performance. Really struggled. Got Pedro Luis on, got back into the game. We rely on that boy a little bit. But he then went away for international duty, came back shattered, so we didn't play him again against West Ham. Didn't even bring him off the bench this time because he was so tired coming off the back of the international break and basically playing every minute of every match leading up to that. So it's a couple of draws, which leaves the Premier League looking like this. To be fair, it's still looking fine. 3 points off the top of the league. I'll take that. You always take that. But what we need now is a victory over Real Madrid in Madrid. The good news, though, we have both Noel and Abraham back for this game, returning from their injuries. So fingers crossed we can find a way past them. A strong argument, this is our best team. Mura could potentially be in ahead of Caesar. Maybe. I think this is probably our best 11. Hoyenhal in goal, a back four of Uga, Caesar, Noel and Fernandez. Navarro at the base of the midfield with Tipple and Zamorano ahead of him. Tipple, by the way, now a full England international after the international break. And then Schultz in behind Abraham and Pedro Luis. We pulled off a massive shock in Turin. Can we pull off another massive shock and qualify from the group? Whoever wins this game is qualified from the group. Obviously, if it ends a draw, Juventus are almost certainly going to be beating Galatasaray, and things get very, very interesting then going into that final match where we face Galatasaray and Real Madrid and Juventus face each other. But the best outcome for us here is a win. I mean, that's usually the case in a football match. But in this situation, a win, I think a win and we're through. A win would put us to 12 points. And then because they play each other, yeah, they'd both be on 9. Only one of them could get to 12. We'd be through. So yeah, a win for either team here is qualification, regardless of what happens in other matches, whether they be today or on the final match day of this qualification period. Tammy Abraham getting back and getting involved in the defending there. Lovely stuff from him. Casolari, we talked about him a little bit in the last match. He's been really disappointing in this little run of starts that he's had while Abraham was injured and then while Pedro Luis was getting rested. I am very, very worried about him and a little bit worried that maybe we shouldn't have sold Alvarez. Maybe we could have let Casolari go in the summer and got another year out of club legend Alvarez. But, oh, God, that's not ideal. Hoyenhau's been wrong-footed by a block there, I think. I'm not going to criticise the greatest goalkeeper in the history of Football Manager, but that is a little bit unfortunate what's happened here. So ball comes in, little back heel, it's bobbling around in the area. Hoyenhau's gone to save the shot from this guy, which is blocked, and then it just bobbles free, and it is an open goal. And we have got a lot to do because Juventus are already ahead against Galatasaray. So as it stands, we're down to 3rd in the group. We're going attacking. We've got to keep an eye on Pedro Luis's fitness because he is struggling a lot at the moment. And obviously, Noel and Abraham just returning from injuries as well. But we have been very poor in that first half. Only the one shot. We've got to do something. I know we're playing Real Madrid in Madrid, but we did beat them, didn't we? We beat them at home. So we shouldn't be afraid of them. And this was a match that at the start, I guess we weren't really expecting to get anything out of. And it is close. But the fact that we're not creating anything is troublesome. Cross comes in and there's a second goal. And we're going to have a lot to do tomorrow. And we are going to need to rely on some luck. 2-0 to Real Madrid. Let's have a look at the bench. I don't anticipate us getting back into this game. Casolari can come on for Abraham. We'll bring on Carlos for Schultz. And then I guess we can bring on Janusek in there. Drop Zamorano back, and he's a little bit more attacking. I'm not expecting to get back into the game. I mean, we'll offer some encouragement. You never know. Stranger things have happened, but not much stranger. Madrid on the attack again, and the header goes just over, and we just have not looked with it. This has been, it's a worry. Oh, I say it's a worry. What's gone on here? Galatasaray must have equalised against Juventus, and that changes everything. The game might be giving us a little bit of a gift here. Just as I'm complaining about how poor our form has been since Juventus, we might be getting a wonderful, wonderful gift from Turkey. Uga crosses to Pedro Luis. He keeps his goal a game record going, even when he doesn't start. I mean, if we can do... I mean, this is on all of a sudden. It's 1-1 between Galatasaray and Juventus. We've now got a goal back. There's 5 minutes left. If we can find an equaliser here... I mean, it's still not enough to qualify us because of the head-to-head between us and Juventus. But another goal here and another goal in Turkey going the right way. And all of a sudden, we find a way through when it looked like all hope was lost. Casolari now, he's just looking up, trying to find where Pedro Luis is. That's his only job here. Get it to the goal machine. Etienne Tipple to Casolari. And now Uga again. And there is the ball through. He was looking for Pedro Luis, but it's Janusek who gets there first. Just get out of the way. Let Pedro Luis have it, for goodness sake. What was he thinking? It has ended 2-1. I think I saw that Juventus did did get a late winner against Galatasaray as well. So the gift we thought we were giving has been snatched from our clutches. There's your confirmation of that. Yeah, 2-1. A 93rd minute from Ryan Gravenberch, one of my hashtag Keverton boys from the network save. That hurts. The Janusek moment at the end hurts. And now we go into that final day. We play Galatasaray. Real Madrid play Juventus. We need to see who's at home in that game because that could be absolutely crucial. So final round of games. It is Juventus at home to Real Madrid. If they win, they're through, I think. Hold on. What's our head-to-head with Real Madrid? So we lost 2-1. We won 2-0. So we actually have a better head-to-head with Real Madrid. So the scenario for tomorrow, if my Kev maths works, is that as long as we beat Galatasaray and there's a result, as long as we beat Galatasaray, I think we're through. Because if it's a draw, we go to 12 points, Juventus on 10. If Juventus win, they go, oh, what's their head-to-head with Real Madrid? That could be crucial. Oh, this is complicated. So when did they play them? It was 1-0 to Real Madrid. So if they win by 2 or more goals, they go above Real Madrid and so do we, so we go through. If it's 1-0, goodness knows what happens, because then we'd all be level on 12 points. And I guess it goes to goal difference at that point, at which point our goal difference would be better than Real Madrid's because it's level at the moment. They'd be losing, we'd be winning. So as long as we win, we're through. I think, because Real Madrid beating Juventus, we obviously go above them. Yeah, as long as we win, we're through. I think it's still in our hands. Let me know down in the comments if my maths is wrong. I think as long as we win, we're through. Guess we'll find out tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.